Don't worry, this isn't for like the entire thing. It's just for this bit. Nihon, or Japan, that is a country and you can find it just about here. Boy, Japan is a very interesting country. It has a fascinating history and culture, some of the most beautiful places to visit on the planet. And if you're into that sort of thing, they have penis parades. I could easily spend hours looking up the history of Japan, finding out how the culture developed to where it is today, or even just exploring the residential streets of Osaka and Tokyo. It's like I'm really there. From the bustling streets of Akihabara to the somewhat otherworldly Kyoto, there really has to be something said about the diversity that Japan has to offer. The different types of food and the never-ending list of anime and manga all reflect the uniqueness that is Japan. But with all that being said, nothing can compare to the beauty and complexity of what is the Japanese language. So many lines and squiggles, it's enough to make your head spin. So far I've been learning on and off for a couple of years. I've said a few things, I've learned a few phrases, but I've only recently started to focus on studying the Japanese alphabets, hiragana and katakana, and it's all in this black book. Let's take a look. The black book of stuff. So at the moment, this is what I'm using to study. It's not the best thing to use. Obviously there's like kana books I should be using to practice my kana, but at the moment everything I'm learning is going into this book, and not just kana, but how they're used, that sort of thing as well. So the reason I'm learning kana first instead of actually learning how to speak Japanese is because I've realised what I was going to say was really dumb. I really just want to learn one thing at a time. Anyway, book. So, quick thing, I use this for uni, so there's a lot of stuff in here that's for uni that isn't related to Japanese at all. So if you start looking through this, you'll realise that I started learning how to talk Japanese first. And then when I kind of realized that I wanted to learn how to read more than actually talk, my focus started to shift more towards learning the kana instead of actually just learning the Japanese dialect. So you can look at like the start of this, you've got like ohayou gozaimasu and like all that sort of stuff. But like I said, all this is written in English. It's a bit of a mess. Towards the end, it kind of makes a bit more sense, but we'll get there when we get there. So this is my very first attempt at trying to write any form of kana. I didn't have guides, I didn't really know how the stroke order worked properly. I still don't, I'm still learning. Like I said, I'm still trying to get through this. It's a very slow process, but I'm still learning. So you can see there's a lot of mistakes in this. I even spelt hiragana wrong. I even got the vowels wrong. It's A-I-U-E-O, not A-E-I-O-U. But it's a starting position. We get places in the future. Yeah, I don't really know what to really say about this. O genki desu ka? Genki desu. Genki desu, arigato. I'm still learning. It's not perfect by any means. I don't even know if that is correct. Do people say that? So this right here, this isn't hiragana or katakana, this is kanji. At the moment, I don't exactly remember what this is. I think this is page. Tree, there you go, tree. Tree is really simple. It basically just looks like a tree. You put some trees together, you get a forest. That's how kanji works. I don't know how kanji works. Kanji is very complicated. Okay, so this is when I kind of started to like shift a little bit towards learning the kana. For some reason, I started with kanji. I don't know why. So for some reason I wanted the first characters I learned to be Nihon. For some reason, I don't really know why. I just wanted the first characters I learned and actually remembered to be Japan. I just thought it was kind of fitting, I guess. I don't really know. Ni and Hon. Wait, is that the right? It's the right way, right? Yeah. I believe this is page, sun, origin, beginning. It's got tree with a root. That's how you remember, because it's where it begins. If I remember correctly, it basically just means sun's origin. I could be wrong. I think I'm wrong. I'm going to be very skeptical and say that everything I say that could be facts is wrong. So basically that's what I think I remember what it really says. Sun's origin, or Japan, Nihon. And then for some reason I went to numbers. So we got 1 to 10. So ichi, ni, sanchi, all the way up to ju. Again, this isn't perfect. I still don't really know how to actually write kanji properly, but I'm intending on buying a book to help. I kind of also started to realize how Japanese numbers worked in kanji. So you'd write them as they'd appear, I guess. I think that's kind of how it kind of works, I guess. Like with the example I've written here, I think this is how it works. So you write 4 and 10 for 40, and then a number afterwards for the second digit. So if you wanted to write 407, you'd write 4 and then 100 and then 7, I think. I think that's how it works. Here is my phone. I have a folder full of Japanese stuff. You can kind of see at the bottom, there's just a lot of text, but a lot of this is just like screenshots that I've taken from websites that kind of just have examples of how Japanese kind of really works. I've taken a lot of those screenshots and then just wrote them down. That's why there's so much of this. I think this is how months work as well. I think. I don't really remember. So you put the number and then month. So it's like Shigatsu, 4th month. I think that's how it works. So you put the number and then the month. I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that, please. I'm just learning. Things, little face. So for some reason, I wanted to learn at least a Japanese song, and for some reason, I wanted Telephone Number by, I believe, Junko Ahashi. I think that's maybe. I'm very bad at like trying to do those sorts of names. And this was my first attempt at trying to write katakana. I think I've tried writing katakana before. So this wasn't my first attempt, I don't think. But this is definitely the first time I tried writing katakana in this book. There's definitely still some mistakes in this. Like proportions are still off. I still don't know how to really do that a bit accurately. And then we kind of just drop the ball a bit and then go back to just English translations. But I did try to do this. Mario. From what I believe, katakana is really used for like borrowed words, English names that have been translated into Japanese, and things like onomatopoeia as well. So things that you'd see in like manga, especially JoJo's, that sort of thing as well. Oh, and I also rewrote the difference between hiragana and katakana. So there's this bit. There's a whole little paragraph dedicated to the differences between hiragana and katakana. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So at the moment, I don't think I'm even N5. I can't even like understand basic Japanese. I have to rely on like these just to understand how they really work. But at this point, I did start trying to figure out how you actually figure out what type of level you are in terms of like learning the Japanese language. And then there's more hiragana, yay! Actually, this time is a bit more accurate than the first time, so it's a bit better. I did actually start figuring out, hey, if I want to learn these words, I should probably write them down in hiragana first and katakana before I like try to figure anything else out further. So I wrote down hiragana. I wrote down like other things that are in katakana and hiragana. This is like a mix between hiragana and katakana. This is from a Super Mario RPG manual. And this is one of the lines, Isuge Mario. Which I don't believe I wrote it down. And then this one is just me trying to remember specific hiragana. The rest of this, yeah. So this is when I tried starting to practice the kana. So we start off with A, I, U, E, and O. And then it's like kind of just falls off. And then I started to practice, I guess, the syllables more than anything. Because if you didn't know, katakana and hiragana are syllabic. So we got the K's. I haven't finished this yet. So we got the K's, we got the S's, we got the T's, the N's, the H, the M's, and then that's it. So I'm trying to learn at least 5 a day of each. I remember, I believe the last time I checked was about 17 off the top of my head for hiragana that I can remember. But there's still so much room for improvement. I still don't really know how to write these properly, so I do definitely need to get one of those books, one of the kana books, so I can practice properly. But this was my book. I thought I'd show you my book. Isn't it fantastic? So at the moment you're probably thinking to yourself, Darbus, why are you learning Japanese? You don't live in the land of the Japan. To which I say, yeah, you're probably right. But while I don't live there, I do want to visit Japan. I've wanted to travel the country for a few years, but because of a lack of finance and confidence, I just haven't taken the plunge. I really just want to be ready for when I do. That, and not really learning the language before, probably wouldn't help. There is still a very, very long way for me to go. I have to learn how grammar works, and I have to remember roughly 2,000 kanji characters, but it is going to be a fun journey. A tough one, but a fun one. Hopefully. And to all of you waiting to call me a weeaboo, I just wanted to let you know. Damn it, you're not wrong.